where is your Goldmine area? Your deals in your area. The right types to buy, where to buy them, how close to you can buy them. So this is one of the most valuable sessions of the weekend. Ideally, within 8 miles of where you live. But if that's not possible, then it's an 8-mile radius as close to the central property as where you live. So let's say, for example, you live in Sleaford, which is here. Now, Sleaford, this is obviously going to have to be not to scale, it'd have to be off the map. But Sleaford to Peterborough might be 15 miles. But let's say Sleaford is not that great an area because it's not compared to Peterborough. So what you do is roughly your central house, which is probably the first or second house you buy. So let's say it's there. Your 8-mile radius is that. So I know some of you are quite convinced, or you think that within 8 miles radius of where you live, it's not a Goldmine area for single lets. I've got a couple of things to say to you if you feel that's you. Number one, it's probably not that it isn't, it's just you don't know how or where yet. Number two, what the estate agents are telling you about what's going on in your area, that is what they do. Everything's going up full asking price. There's a big frenzy, blah, 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 all that. That is their usual spiel. So if you've heard that and you've gone, okay, well, my area doesn't work, you've just bought into that. Because you all agreed that no matter rise or shine, boom or bust, people are people, and people will still get into financial difficulties. People will still get divorced no matter what. People will still need to do all these no matter what's going on in the market. Of course, if there's a crash or a recession, a bit more. And if the economy's really good, a bit less. But there's still millions of people in the UK, no matter what the market, that fit into this. Millions. So you've probably dismissed it because someone's made you believe, or your voice has made you believe. It's the grass is greener syndrome. It's ironic that a lot of people say to me, oh, Rob, Peterborough's such a great place to invest. No one ever said Peterborough's such a great place to live. No one ever wanted to come here. And it's actually not necessarily the best. Now, this is Peterborough here, by the way. As you can see, I used to be an artiste. Oh, oui. So it's actually probably there to there is definitely no more than 8 miles. Let's call it 8. There to there is no more than 5 miles. So you could say even a further radius is a Goldmine area. But most people think, when they look at an area, that area is the Goldmine area. The 8-mile radius. First massive myth. So here's what a Goldmine area actually looks like. So interestingly, that line also represents the rail line, by the way. So you've got south down towards Stevenage, then London, and you've got north, Newark, Retford, all the way up Leeds, up through to Scotland. That's how it goes. This is Hampton. Nice, well-to-do, fairly new build area. Bought a few, just like I showed you at the top corner, thought they were great, they were rubbish. Bought a couple of shitty sheds here. They rented out quick, to our surprise, and there were no voids. We've got at least 50 tenants who've been in there since the day we bought them 5, 7, and 10 years ago. Never moved out. In fact, some of them even do their own refurbs for us. Why? Because they don't see it as our house. We see it as their house, which is what you want. Whereas these people don't see it as their house. What are those people going to do in 6 months' time? What are they going to do? Yeah, they're going to move out to buy their own, aren't they? So, now, interestingly here, and this is very interesting, this bit here, North Bretton, South Bretton. North Bretton average price at least 250k. South Bretton average price no more than 90k. And they're both called Bretton. So imagine if you live in London and you're scattergunning all over the country, how would you know the difference between North Britain and South Britain in a city 200 miles away? You'd never have a clue. And that really doesn't work. Now, we didn't have to buy one. Mark's mum bought one to live in, probably 300 grand house, really nice. And because Mark did all the numbers when Mark, she moved in, so we realised that was never going to work for us. Hampton is the nice area. That didn't work. Now, when I say didn't work, if you bought it cash, it would work. You'd get yield if there was no mortgage. But these work, cash flow, even with high mortgages on them. Does this all make sense, by the way? Show me your hand if it makes sense. Can we have a microphone, please? Microphone over to Andrew.
Andrew.
Let's start that again. Andrew, say your name like you're proud of it.
Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
I thought the new ones would work because they're brand new, shiny, so you'd have less voids. But you're saying in Peterborough, that's not your case because they tend to leave every 6 to 12 months. So I thought they'd love that house because it's brand new. All right, they might not own it, but it's brand new and it's brand new.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought when I started. Right. In fact, that's probably the natural thing that you would think. So when you first start using common sense logic and what you would want to do, what would you think? Oh, nice tenant. Make sure I have a nice professional tenant. Got to have a good job. Nice new house. Do it up. Make it look really nice. They're actually two of the biggest myths, and it's almost the opposite. And I'll explain why in a little while. So good question. If you were thinking that too, we thought that too. That's why we made a mistake. I'm not saying they're not nice houses. I'm just saying they don't pay you any money. Cash flow on these is much higher than these, yet they're worth more, which doesn't sound logical, but it is. So thank you, Andrew. And in fact, I'm going to lead on next and answer your exact question. So that is what you're looking to do in your local gold mine, that level of kind of like I suppose if you were an army and you were planning a siege, the angles at which you come in, where you set up your camp, where you attack from, the defense point. This is what you're doing. Now, to be able to do this, you need it on a one-to-one basis. Obviously, this is the concept, and this is as far as I can go with you, but you need home laptop, your area, Rightmove, postcode searches, certain websites, and you need to analyse deals. So, let's get a bit more specific then on those areas in your area. Now, in any sort of town or city, probably not village, but any town or city, you have the relative Manhattan, i.e. the highest, poshest, nicest area. Gucci, Armani, Versace, and all those kind of brands. And in your relative area, you have the Bronx. Pop into caps in each other's asses and shit. And it's all relative, of course. Peterborough has its own Bronxes, and it has its own Manhattans. Manhattan, Westwood Park Road, Thorpe Road. Bronxes, Sheepwalk, Crabtree, for example. In your area, there are those two. Now, there's a sweet spot, as I've shown you here, in your area between the two extremes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk out of Versace with my shopping bags, and you're going to stop me at the point where you think the sweet spot is between the two extremes in your town or city. Here we go. Did you say we're going straight to shit? I want to learn Russian. I'm way more interested in English. Okay, so carry on. You just got shot. Right, so as you can see, it kind of looks a bit like a heart rate monitor. Interesting. As a team, as a group, That was the range that we saw. The actual sweet spot is it's much closer to the Bronx than you think.